We are live, apparently, and this is In the Metal. My name is Johnny Michael Hearn. This gentleman beside me, Jayesh Kumar, is based in Brooklyn, in the Slopes, I gather, in Brooklyn. And so thank you for tuning in and joining us on In the Metal. And Jay, how are things going with you, my man?
Good. It's a heat wave in New York. It's been very hot. We've been in a place. I'm always sitting inside because it's air conditioning,
Yeah.
so it sort of is very nice to be inside. But as soon as you step out, it's like a sauna. So
Well,
you have this
the
dry heat, and then you also have this humid situation happening, and you're like, "What is going on?"
what is going on? That is the great question.
That's
Listen,
all I'm saying.
it's the same here in Ireland. We are having an unprecedented spell of really, really hot weather, and it is when I say hot weather for us, it's high twenties, and literally, man, it's been a long time
High
since I
20s. This is
high.
about 38, 39 over here.
I know. Well, we're soft over here. That's why we're pink over here. You know. That's why we're pink. So we're not used to it. There's a lot of unsightly bodies moving around the town very slowly, like in ill-fitting summer gear, and so but still, that's what we got. So all good anyway. So Jay, it's summertime. Everybody is off. The watch industry is
On a
gone.
pause. There is nothing happening. Zero.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You get one or two uh, press releases every couple of days, and in comparison to where you're normally getting, 7, 8
You
every
don't even
day.
know who they are. You don't even recognize names anymore. I'm like, who are these people?
Well, we're going to have a look at a few names that now, Jay. I have to say, we are assuming people don't know these names, but these guys that we're going to talk about for the next half hour or so, they're sold out.
Really?
Like they're mostly they're young guys who are emerging onto the scene, and it's literally only a handful of them. I could have, if I'd had more time, or we had more time to do this episode, we could have looked at dozens of young talents, because there are so many coming out of the watch schools in Morteau, in Wostep, in the different in Besançon, and all the different places where young people are learning watchmaking. And it's there's some amazing talents arriving on the scene, and in terms of their horological innovation, the ideas that they're coming up with, as well as the aesthetics and the finishing. And I am telling you, we are in an era of
I need to ask you
unprecedented
something
talent.
which I have been asked. A friend of mine was watching one of our podcasts, and he
Thank
asked,
you.
yeah, yeah. So he asked me, Jay, you have, you and your friend Johnny have come up with so many different watchmakers, and you telling us what it costs and whatever else. What how is it possible for a person like me to get a hand? I mean, how to get it? Would Johnny be able to get it for me, or would you be able to get it for me, or is there anybody who can, if I'm interested in one of those pieces, is it possible for me to get one? So I said, listen, I am not very sure at this point how you would be able to get it, because it is very difficult to get pieces like that. But I can ask Johnny, and he may have a solution, which I don't know at this time.
I can always ask. I know a few people, and yeah, it'd be great. Actually, it's one of the things that I do in the metal. On one side, I also work with a small group of clients on the other side, and we work with literally the way it is now. That you used to go and see if you could get you know, uh, an arrangement as an authorized dealer with some of these brands. And indeed, over the years, I've established that relationship with a lot of independent watch brands, which is, yeah, it's probably the reason why I'm still doing this, because I go back before it was cool, Jay.
Makes
And
sense. Makes sense.
but
So,
nowadays,
so you, let's say there is a gentleman or a person who's watched this and who says, "Oh wow, this sounds very cool. I love the watchmaker. I love the watches. 35,000 euros. I'm okay with that, and I would like to get one of these pieces." So they can actually write you a mail and ask you if there's possibility.
they could certainly do that. One of the things that we're not doing here, Jay, is that we're not using In the Metal as a platform to sell watches.
Okay.
We're talking about, because a lot of the watches that we look at, we literally could not get an allocation for. So
Absolutely.
there's no actual commercial angle
Yeah.
to In the Metal. Maybe down the line a bit, if someone wants to do a collaboration with us and do
Oh yeah, that's
maybe
another story. Yeah, of course.
yeah. But there's no mercenary side to this here. We're not going in looking to see. Obviously, we want to build the platform, as you know,
Of course.
and have a bit of fun doing it, and that's the whole objective out of it. But like, this is the Longines tuxedo.
Commercial.
That's okay. Are they paying you, man? That's but yeah. Look, at the risk of talking shop in front of the counter, like, we're still trying to figure out what In the Metal is.
Exactly.
And
I mean,
literally
I
to
think
have some.
down the road we'll know what we want.
Absolutely, we have ideas.
Till then, we
Yeah,
talk watches.
we have ideas. We have ideas.
Yeah.
So indeed, but so listen. I know that today you're pressed for time, so that's cool. You mentioned yesterday that you read an article in Monochrome which featured some of the
Yeah.
5 of the most
New
impressive.
releases. I was like, who are these people? And those watches, like, some of them were like really insane. Like
They
Holtzman
are,
and similar ideas, similar looks, and I also saw similarity with Ludovic Bollard. So many things. It's amazing.
yeah.
Let's go.
No, well, a couple of the article made great reading. Again, for our friends at Monochrome, Frank, Xavier, Brice, Rebecca, etc., all great friends that we love bumping into at all of the events. So it was very interesting reading. One of the ones that you mentioned, first of all, that blew you away, was by 2 gentlemen called Bernard and Bernard, and they have set up their atelier,
Oh
which
my
is atelier. Imagine it, really. Thankfully, their watches are more imaginative than the name of their workshop, because it's atelier. And,
God.
so they have created. These are 2 young guys who created their company age 24, and both of them brought together. One of them brought together the innovation, the mechanical, and the engineering side of the watch, which
Yeah.
we're looking at. And the watch that we're looking at is called the Owl. And
Oh,
why do you think it's called the Owl?
I can see it already on the face.
You can see it on the face. It has an amazing open work, 3-dimensional architecture,
Yeah.
which has 2 enormous gold-plated barrels with guilloche for the eyes.
Yes.
And then it just has that kind of. Apparently, the Owl is a nickname for the watch. It seems to be like one of those happy accidents that it turned out.
Yeah, but you see what I mean, right? It resembles Chaikin. It also gives Holtzman. It gives you so many of these looks, which I think is amazing how people can, get all of these ideas together and put it out there and make it so beautiful.
It's a stunning piece. And it is not only a stunning piece. I love that return to the 3-dimensional architecture that you used to find on old pocket watches of the 1800s, where the bridges were imposing structures on the movement, and that has been revived. I guess I saw someone commenting on the Le Breguet La Tradition, which is one of the mainstream pieces, if you like, which revisited that style. I have another great friend, Cyril Brivet-Naudot, whose own watch about 10 years ago was also in the same style. And I just loved that, the architecture. That there's something fascinating to look at when you're not just checking the wrist for the time, you're looking at something that is fascinating happening in front of your eyes. And the owl features a really unusual aspect, and it's called the duplex escapement, which we can see kind of in these images. The problem with these small independent, or like literally emerging, fledgling independents, who, by the way, you can't buy a watch off for the next 3 years. So good luck with that, being a fledgling. That's quite somewhere to start your career, isn't it? Being booked up for 3 years, you know.
But how many pieces a year, though?
I think the first piece that they made of owl was I think they're only making 6 pieces in total. And I actually have the fact sheet here. We're gonna have a quick.
Oh, there you go.
No, that ain't it. Let me see. Come on, Johnny. I am not sure if is that it there.
There you go.
There we go. And
Bernard de Haut.
Yeah. So there are 6 pieces.
Yes.
And being made
it's already been sold out.
All sold out.
$150,000, 6 pieces.
Swiss francs. Yep. And
$180,000.
Yep. All
plus
gone.
Taxes and tariffs, so it's $200,000.
That's what you're looking at. Yeah, absolutely. And but they have designed it with this amazing duplex escapement, and the balance wheel, which is usually 1 piece. Well, okay, it is 1 piece here, but it is actually, there are gaps in it, and the escapement itself is duplex escapement and is very, very sophisticated. It's actually quite energy dependent, and that's why there are 2 barrels on the watch.
I see that.
Yeah, and so still, even with 2 barrels, you're getting 45-hour approximately power reserve out of it.
Yeah,
but it's man, everything is finished to. These are young guys coming out.
Yeah,
breaking it onto their own. Now, okay, there is an ecosystem in independent watchmaking where you got guys helping each other out with different aspects of their watches, but the finishing is just absolutely it's immaculate, you know. And it's, you know, I thought whenever I was writing the intro to this for the YouTube channel that so the future of independent watchmaking is definitely in very good hands with young talents like this coming on. The problem being, Jay, going back to what you said a few minutes ago, is getting one, because these are not large manufactories. These are not guys who can create, you know,
create everything there within their own 4 walls, which is crazy.
Do you think if those guys were able to make 25 or 30 watches a year, would there still be the same kind of demand? Would that diminish the exclusivity? I'm not sure it would. My own personal opinion.
I think up to 20 pieces or 25 pieces, you're in a good space. Like Moser always has special editions coming up to 28 pieces, let's say. And they are in a very good space. But anything more than that, let's say 50, 101, all of those things are a bit difficult, I think.
I think you might be right.
Especially with that price point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just, it must be so frustrating. I'm not in the market. I'm not knocking on doors looking to see, can I get the next L'Atelier Bernard Owl or anything like that there. But for people who are banging, who are really wanting it must be so frustrating. And so
see it and not find it.
Yeah, I know. But then I guess what happens is that you have a choice. You can go out. There's other brands that are emerging on the scene, and it's happening every year. And when you go to Geneva Watch Days, or when you go to Watches and Wonders, you're seeing guys who maybe haven't got to that stage where they have a kiosk or even a table in a suite where they're exhibiting, because it costs
Money.
thousands to exhibit there. But you maybe get them in the Beau Rivage down in the lounge area or the lobby, and they're sitting there. They've got a watch scroll with maybe a couple of pieces in it, and they're pitching their new creation. And that's where you sometimes that's your opportunity now, and it's getting an allocation from these guys. That is
Crazy.
yeah,
it's good. I think it's also first person whom they meet and who's interested and who's already giving them an amazing vibe. They are good with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's again, look, that's only Natalia Bernard, the two guys. These are people, folks. If you're watching this or listening to this at the minute, I hope that we're able to come back and speak with these actual people in person, and to get a better understanding of where they come from, what they're doing, where they're going, how people can possibly access these watches, or will they be able to? And I guess when they're creating what we would definitely agree on is our works of art. They can only create so many. So, but the next one that we looked at there, so that was a very quick look at the Owl by the L'Atelier Bernard. I guess a couple of quick things to look over. This is the case back with beautiful architecture, continues front and back. It's a fabulous looking piece. And also another thing that I really liked about it was the case, because the stainless steel case has a type of slope or a wedge shape. Through that means that the sapphire crystal is also sloped or has a wedge profile, and through that you can see this amazingly beautiful balance wheel oscillating in underneath, and the way that escapement works is like I'm going to explain it in 30 seconds, but it has it doesn't have pallet forks that make the tick that you would normally expect, but it has two interlocking sets of teeth, one on the escape wheel and one on a different vertical, well, it's not vertical, it's semicircular half wheel, and that gyrates, and so it only oscillates at half the rate that you would expect a normal watch. And I think that the oscillation rate for that piece is 10,800 vibrations per hour, 1.5 hertz. So it's positively pedestrian in its movement. It gives you, and I love that about a slow runner, that you can really appreciate the operation of the oscillation of the balance wheel. So that I like. Fabulous. You also mentioned to me a gentleman called Mathieu Clegeur. And and he is another emerging talent. I remember Matthew contacted me a couple of years ago when I was working with the limited edition, and was pitching his new watch, and man,
36 hours,
just stunning. 36-hour power reserve. That's the power reserve on that. So an absolutely spectacular piece. And this again, Jay, again, I am marveling whenever I'm working on this, setting this show up today and yesterday. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at what makes this watch so special and so complex and sophisticated for a young guy to be creating this here. And it has this extraordinary innate escapement. And what I have done, Jay, I have got a video of how that actually works. And so there are two escapement wheels.
Yes.
It has it's got a double roller, which is operating this incredible pallet fork assembly. And it is, again, beats slowly. It's I think it's 18,000 vibrations per hour, 2.5 hertz, and is absolutely beautiful piece. Again, you look at this, Jay, the finishing, the aesthetics, everything, the attention to detail throughout is blooming mind blowing. So it is that these guys are creating incredible works of art. Yeah. So,
Who does it remind you of, though? There is a watchmaker who has made watches like this.
you could
British compatriot, but he sold.
Hang on one damn second there, boy. Right? Hold your horses. I'm in Ireland here.
Sorry.
Mr. Kumar, I'll have you know.
So let me come back to you with this. This is a little like Speak Marin. A little.
You could say that.
You have the two, the thing on two and those open. It's work of it's so much, not fully, but there is a little bit where you can say, oh my God, yeah, you have something there, except for the onion, crown. Otherwise, it's got something there which can be sort of compared to that.
Well, I often wonder and marvel at how the watchmaker can express themselves so distinctively in the confines of, in this case, I think it's a 38.5 millimeter.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll just get the spec up here. So
there you go. Oh, it's 38.5. All right.
38.5 mil, and so which is. I do wonder how they managed to get to imprint their own language, their own voice, and express themselves. And of course, man, there's bound to be the occasional overlap, where you're going to see similarities between one another.
100%.
But I still think
a lot of these watchmakers have these similarities, but there are distinct similarities. Which, for example, the two, the hour, the clock on the two itself.
Yeah.
Speak normally has something on at two all the time.
That's in the new Speak Marines.
Yes.
Remember his classic, the Piccadillys and that, like they were.
No. Yes. I'm talking about the new series. The
Ripple. I know there's a new one produced or released there not too long ago.
Yes.
And there's Saint Croix. Greetings to you, Goldfinger. I hope you're enjoying your summer. So thank you for tuning in. It's much appreciated. I can see where you're coming from, but again, each one of the you would not, if you put the two side by side, which I don't have the ability to do right now, I think you'd still be able to say, right, that there's actually the decentralized dial might be something that they have in common, but not much else. I think
not much else, but I'm talking about the distinct, that sort of, puts me to that place. But this is beautiful. Oh,
yeah. Okay, absolutely. And again, they're getting into this three-dimensional architecture on the dial, which is really, really, to me, captivating. And you look then at some of the attention to detail. This is the innate escapement that we were talking about, which you can see the large balance wheel, and I'm just studying that, Jay, and look at the attention to detail on every surface has a different kind of hand applied finish, from the enamel on the dial to the flame blued hands, the frosting around the barrel bridge, the sunburst brush effect on the barrel itself, and the polishing, mirror polishing. It's man, wow. So what is he doing? He's made 12 of these, I think, for the subscription. They were priced at 56,000 Swiss francs, which, yeah, it's a lot of money.
It was the first 12 pieces, right?
Yeah. He intends to create 80 pieces in total. And so, but the next generation, so I think he has taken the subscription, like most others that we've talked about here, the subscription is closed, but it's in grade 5 titanium. But the next series that will be produced will be in a choice of different exotic precious metals. Prices for those will start from 95,300. Where he got the 300 from is nearly as fascinating as the watch. Do you know what we're gonna 95,300? Like, come on, Mathieu. Get any discounts? 300. In fact, because you asked, no.
That's crazy.
So, but yeah, stunning piece, absolutely stunning piece, and so really good to see. And so, pardon me. So yeah, there was a couple of others then that we mentioned that that weren't in the monochrome article, but one of those was a French Laotian from Laos. So Laotian, I think I'm getting that right.
Laos, really?
Born in French born, Dann Phimphrachanh. And I met Dan a couple of times at the AHCI, the Masters of Horology event in Geneva during Watches and Wonders. Hopefully, we'll be bumping into him again Geneva Watch Days. And man, words fail me for this. This is his seconde vive, the living second, we would translate that into, and is entirely manufactured in-house. The whole design, concept, everything is his own. He discovered watchmaking as a young guy at technical college. It caught his attention, and he is one of these true artisans.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct.
And
absolutely correct.
And again, he has created the thing that these watches that we're looking at here all have in common is that they all feature really cool innovations.
Yes.
And so to qualify for this episode of In the Metal, you have to not only be a young and emerging watchmaker, but have something really cool to bring to the table. And the second vive is it's almost like a deadbeat second, but you see that at the 5 o'clock position on the watch. There is that's actually the seconds display.
Yes.
And his mechanism is it is so it's I'm not even going to attempt to explain, but it is the effect that it creates is like a deadbeat second, except it never really. It's always moving. Which is why he's called it the seconde vive. And again, it's just throughout.
This is insanely beautiful.
Insanely beautiful.
It's insane. I mean, the way you need to think about, just the architecture of this, just to have it in your mind, and then you're looking at those parts which are guilloched and, with precious metals, and it's really crazy, man.
It's something that is absolutely stunning. And to have seen this watch, Joe may regret I didn't have the chance to spend more time with him, because the couple of times that I did get to meet him, I was on company time with my friends at TLE. And so and you walk away from a 5-minute encounter like that, and you go, man, I would love to spend an hour just
At least.
studying this and talking to you and learning about it and
Yeah.
learning a little bit about the processes behind it, because
Yeah.
they don't just sit down one day and say, I'm going to make a watch. Like I did some reading on the likes of SJX and Quill and Pad and Monochrome today, and the experience of creating his Second Vive. He said whenever he first finished it, or finally got the first prototype working, it was a great disappointment to him because it didn't work as smoothly as he had hoped. He had to actually start the mechanism, and it required further really serious revisions to get it to where he wanted to take it. But an absolutely stunning piece. He is Dann Phimphrachanh is he's got orders for the next 3 years, but he also has expressions of interest that would take him for another 10 years. And I think that wisely what he's doing is saying, let's see where we are in 3 years' time, because a young watchmaker like us, you can get tied into one watch and end up just making that one watch all of your career, pretty much. And these guys got so much invention and so many ideas happening that it's it doesn't make any sense to tie in, and but it's an incredible piece. Again, there's no price on this here. I think the first subscription went out at 65,000 Swiss francs, which, if you think about it, was pretty much a steal compared to what some brands are going out nowadays. Dann is also a candidate in AHCI, so hopefully, I would imagine big things happening there.
I think so too, because with such beautiful innovation and the artistic things which are going on with this watch, I'm sure he wouldn't have any problem for the next 10 subscriptions of his, which makes sense.
And there's another thing. If a collector comes in and is involved in the subscription of the first edition, they're going to get first refusal.
Oh yeah. I know somebody who's getting the Rexep, subscriptions all the time. So he will always get it. That's how it is. And Bernard, same thing. A friend of mine from England, he's getting any of the watches which Bernard, the first dibs is his.
Yeah. Because they're in on the subscription, and it's I guess it's a loyalty policy. It's better than the loyalty thing you get at your supermarket, isn't it? So listen, I wanted to not quite round it up, but almost bring it towards the end of this little episode with another brand, Aubert Ramel, which is another
of course,
two young guys, and they've created this absolutely beautiful Aurea, it's called. And,
this is insane.
Come on.
What the fuck?
They've all been insane, Jay. They're this is the Aurea, Ourea, and it's a time only, hours and minutes, and features a beautiful partially open work dial, which is it has a solid half dial, if you like, of solid silver, which has been finished with a griffe. It's kind of like a hammered effect, and it gives it a really jump. I have seen photographs of this. A friend of mine is in the process. I think actually he has just received sent me a few photographs of it, and that griffe, that hammered effect on the dial, really, really jumps out. And again, two young guys creating something absolutely spectacular.
Yes.
So let me see if I have a little bit of information on that one there. So the limited edition of 6 pieces subscription sold out, of course. It was in white gold. They're also going to release 14 further in grade 5 titanium at 72,000. again, Jay, if you want one, I'm sorry. I think these are all.
I don't even want to know.
And our friend, who's actually not in St. Croix this week, he's in Geneva, Goldfinger. Yeah, you think that these guys work with Luc Monet.
Yes.
Luc Monet is working with a lot of these young guys.
Yes,
And
yes, of
a
course.
lot of these young guys, Goldfinger, are, Luc is instrumental in realizing their dreams.
Oh,
And
that
Luc
is
Monet,
so good though. This is what it is all about. You do get a little piece of the pie, but at the same time, you have these collaborations happening, and you have so many things going on. And for a person who's already in that position to help and make something out of it is absolutely fabulous.
this is what I described earlier as the ecosystem that's happening in
Yes.
the independent watch
Yeah.
sphere. You've got people like, I know, Lucas Soprano, Luc Monet, you have Philippe and Norvell, who are all contributing to the next generation,
Yes.
helping and problem solving and educating. When
Yeah.
these people come out of watch school or go through WOSTEP or
Yes.
the Corpella Watch College,
Yeah.
Watch Academy, that they then go on to work with some of the bigger brands. Maybe they're going in and spending time with Audemars Piguet or with Jésus Lecoultre or with maybe Groibel Force or
Yeah.
that type of, and they're refining their craft there. But when they come out into the world on their own right, it's with people like Luc Monet, like
Yeah.
uh, Philippe and Norvell, who are coaching them in the fine art of just. I know that Machiel Hulsman has been with spent time with Philippe on the finishing,
Yeah.
and it's a fantastic. I love that giving nature
mean,
of
that is what it's supposed to be. I mean, that's how it is supposed to be. But
yeah,
nowadays, it's a bit difficult, but it's also very open because a lot of other things also, involved in this, and there's a lot of small parts which gets together, and in the end, as I said, whatever get the small piece of the pie, as you call it, you're very happy with that because that is then yours and nobody
yeah,
else can say anything about it. You know what I mean? So I think
yeah.
it works out in both ways.
Absolutely, it's a mutually beneficial
Yes.
situation because some of these guys, maybe I mentioned Lucas Soprano for a long time, did not really want to go out on his own. Was very content with
Yeah.
the security of working with some of the big brands behind the scenes, relative and anonymity, and creating incredible pieces. I remember him coming on in the metal probably 5 years ago now, Jay, and
Yeah.
explained to us about the Jacob and Co. Astronomia. And
Oh, wow.
man, what? And then you realize there's actually there's somebody behind these
Yes, of
incredible
course.
pieces, and they're very often
Of course.
working in their own little ateliers.
Yes.
And I've seen the same myself. I've been in John McGonagall's workshop
Yeah.
in Ireland here,
Yeah.
and he was working on a piece for a brand and problem solving, figuring it out,
Yeah.
figuring out how to make it work. He actually wasn't involved in the original design of the watch,
Yes.
but it wasn't functioning, it wasn't reliable,
Yeah.
and so they sent it to John for to troubleshoot and find out what was wrong with it. And so a lot of a lot of the watchmakers are pretty content to stay behind the scenes. I guess
I
it's
think that also pays, the bills.
more secure. Well, it certainly was up until the last 10 years or so,
Yeah.
because the independence. Their time is here without any shadow of a doubt. I often describe the independent sector when people were asking me, maybe here in Ireland, who didn't have a great awareness of independence, but like, what do you mean independent? I was saying, like, if you consider that the mainstream are, you know, just their center stage.
Yes.
Well, the independents were like satellites that were orbiting outside that sphere of recognition, if you like. And over the last 10, 12 years in particular, oh man, it has just zoomed. It's like moths to a light. It just gravitated in towards the center.
And also,
you know,
people recognized the artistry behind it. They recognized exactly what it means to sit in a place and do these, you know, these little timepieces, which are pieces of art more than anything else. I don't even think people would want to wear it out there, and just because they found it in a, you know, and they got a subscription or whatever else. It is how people are. People want to have exclusive. They want to go through that path of getting something special for themselves, which is also only made for them. And that's how it is. And I don't even think anybody who's acquired any of these pieces would even sell it.
No, that's it. But unfortunately, then a lot of, well, they either end up being safe bunnies, being kept in safes, or they end up coming out, being flipped.
Yes.
Well,
I
Phillips.
don't know. I've never heard about any of these exclusive pieces being flipped.
At all.
Auctions is another. Yes, of course. That's another story.
The auctions are never short of a very packed catalogue of pieces, and we talked about that a couple of months ago when we were looking at the Geneva Phillips auction, and even the Phillips auction in New York recently, where the FP Shern went for 13 million, like, you know, and you know, so yeah. But I like this. We'll talk about another one. You got to go. I also am very grateful for you to having shared your time with us. This is the watch that we were going to talk about that looked like the Ludovic Bayard. There you go, folks. And so we can come back to that one again, so we can, my friend. But
because I need to say something about that watch. That's the reason why I want to be there.
I will keep that. We will talk about it the next time. So I'm sure you have an anecdote about that one, and I really look forward to hearing it.
I do. Maybe we should also put out another watch which looks like it.
Yeah. Listen, thank you very much indeed, folks, for joining us for this episode of In the Metal. It's great fun, a great pleasure bringing this to you, and we will catch up with you on the next episode. So as ever, tell your friends. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I don't think hitting it over and over again will make a big difference. But so, folks, we will see you the next time out. And Jay, thanks so much indeed for another.
Thank you. Okay. All the best, guys.